Hi guys, welcome back to the Three Faces in the Dark podcast. It's me, Joseph, with Bias Opinion and Big L. So it's currently 4 weeks, 1 month into the league. Oh, it's only the third week. Oh, it feels quite long, but okay. So what has everybody been up to?
So, although it's the third week, but I am only in my second build of the league. I'm currently playing a very interesting transfigured gem. It's actually the ball lightning of orbiting. So I'm playing a ball lightning orbiting CI trickster. For people who are interested in the build, I think the closest that you can find on YouTube now is actually Ziggy's Arc Trickster. I think it's built in a similar fashion, power charge stacking. It's just that my gear is definitely much more harder to obtain than what ZKD has been rocking, because I believe his video was more along the one div, how much can you do with one divine. And I think this league, there's a very good discussion as to how people can actually play with very rare uniques at cheap prices, because I don't know if you all have realized, but things like Unnatural Instinct is about 60 chaos. Uh, Relicash Impatience, the first one that I bought was 5 div, but current prices is about 35 chaos. So there is a very big shift in terms of the good unique prices. It's currently very low, and I think we will talk about the why this is and the impacts of Magifine later down in this podcast. But generally, what I want to say about my build is that I think at this point the gem is not very good, because even though the damage is there, there isn't if you are playing any sort of crit scaling on this ball lightning of orbiting, it's very difficult because it has a base crit of 5, and just by having 5 base crit, uh if I change the whole setup to a cold snap of power, which is a gem that has 10 base crit, my crit chance can immediately go from 60%, which my currently built rocks, to about 100%. So there's a very big disparity in terms of the damage that I can deal just by changing the gem. So as of now, I think that the gem is interesting in terms of the mechanics, but um, if anybody is thinking of playing ball lightning or orbiting on a juice character, I believe your investment may be better on some other gems. Just don't play this gem for a while, unless you are playing non crit. Then I believe maybe there's some things to be played there. Yeah.
Well, Happy New Year, guys. Come on, I can't believe you guys forget that. Um, I can't believe it, but right after my disastrous league start, opening like 3, 4 different characters, um, I went back and created a new one. I can't believe it now that I think about it. So what I'm running right now is Karen Golem, Elementalist, which I'm very happy with for its budget. I'm not sure how to push it anymore. It uses Triad Grip to convert to Lightning, because I believe that Lightning is really strong and underrated. And I'm using the Soldier of Fortune Spectre, the whatever the construct Spectre is. I'm the one operating the laptop, so I can't bring it out right now. So I'll do it later.
I think it's the Hawking, perfect Hawking miscreations. That one is the specters that buff constructs.
Yep. I use that, which I think is OP. Yes, physical 20% physical damage to lightning damage also. And then at first I was using a blasphemer. I think blasphemer is not bad also. But it died. So I started to try something more expensive. I tried the Hydra. It died twice. It's currently still dead because I'm not going to buy it again. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with my third Spectre. I might just go back to the Blasphemer because it's only 2 or 1C, depending on what happens. Yeah. Build is really good for like under around 10 divines. But as I said, because I have no idea what I'm doing and no one else seems to be doing this, so I have no idea who to steal from. Yeah, that's all from me.
Actually, recently I saw a very cool spectre. It's for people who have played Dota 2. There is this hero called Kunkka. I think the PoE spectre is naval officer. So if you actually buy that particular spectre, every now and then he will send a very big wave. That is like his Saganim shards. That is pretty interesting because it grants you fortification. So it's actually a very good way for builds that cannot get consistent fortify to have a source of for fortification, and also the fact that if you pair it up with a charm that can let you not get stunned when you have fortify, I think it's very strong. But we all know that we don't play PoE so optimizedly. We actually just, if we are playing a normal self-cast build, we won't be playing specters. Yeah. So okay.
Also, if anybody knows why the tiger has 4 divines, someone please tell me. I really want to know.
Okay, then I started with my poison caustic arrow ballista. I have since then transitioned into magic find. So basically, with the I was already running Blood Notch, Immutable Force, and Defiance of Destiny before Magic Find. So now with Magic Find, I switched out to like my Magic Find gears, my boots, my rings, my flask, my belt. So my belt is actually Visco Leash, which has Rampage, which helps with the clear quite a bit because at I think it's 300 kills or 350 kills, there's the detonate date to blast all the crops around. So that's quite cool, right? It helps with the clear quite a lot. Then so talking about MF, so I've started with the T7 cemetery farm, but okay, let's talk about my Atlas tree first because everyone is running the Abyss Scarabs, the Divination card Scarabs, right? Or the unique Scarabs. And then for myself, because I don't like to put Scarabs in and then when you go into the Wildwood, it's quite because previously nobody has. We haven't figured out the Wildwood mechanics yet. So I don't like to invest in my map and then I don't get whips. Yeah. So uh so I went with uh Wandering Path. So far I've spec into previously was Abyss, right? That's the main, and then with Ritual and oh no, what's the fog called?
Delirium?
Delirium. It's not working today. Then I have fully unspec the Abyss tree on the Atlas. So now I've picked up Harby and Beyond. I still have Delirium and Ritual. So then I went from T7 Cemetery to T13 Crimson Prison. Because I think because that's like T13 is eye level 80, which would drop the apothecary, if I'm not wrong.
I think Apothecary actually has a drop level of 80 75 or 78. I forgot already, but it's definitely like once you hit the red tier Crimson Temple, it will drop.
Yeah. So I mean, I was farming that for quite a few days, but no apothecary. And then last night I tried because even with all the MF gear, I was surviving relatively well in the T13. So I thought I try T16 instead, but it seems like a bit too squishy suddenly, even with the Blood Notch Immutable Force with Rise the Destiny combo. Yeah, so I guess I will go back to running T13s. Yep.
So I think it's a good time for us to talk about the current meta, lah, right? I think we can go straight into the current farming strategies, the meta, like what Joseph has been playing. I think it's popularized by Gorata, the your low tier cemetery, or do people farm bureaus also? Yeah. So basically the lower tiers map, because if you haven't reached red maps, basically T14, if you cannot hit T14, the abyssal depths can never be spawned. So that is how people abuse it with the gilded abyss scarabs to always spawn the spire. And the thing about the spire is you will purposely want to roll you actually want to roll two additional proc, and you buff it up with all the non-unique map modifiers on the LS tree to maybe push it up to 3. And yeah, then from there on, because the spire, for every projectile that the spire fires out, is a rare monster. And like what Joseph has been saying, people are fishing for the loot goblins from all these rare monsters infected by the whips. And I think this is a very common problem among a lot of the juicers, is that if you are not willing to invest into a map too much, you will feel like some of the maps will you barely only have 2,000 whips for one color, and you may not get the returns that you see on Reddit. So some people might be a bit discouraged to play that further on. And while that is something, I believe that we can talk about more ways to earn money, because this is what the streamers are playing, and most of the people who do not think of do not think much, and they just want to have the big adrenaline um, spike from having dropped 40 defines. They will follow what the streamers are doing. Yeah, so later on we'll talk about some other ways that you can earn currency from this meta. Then maybe we can also go down into what are the meta builds that people are playing for this league.
Okay, so I would like to say that with my Wandering Path Magic Find, I haven't seen the Divine Explosions yet. I've only seen Jeweler Explosions. Scarab, yeah, once in a while I see Scarabs also. So, is there like a Chaos Explosion? I don't really see that also.
So so I think what really happens is that yours for yours the jeweler explosion, chaos explosion is basically just a lower form of the divine kind of explosion. It's just that maybe they haven't hit the rolls, or they haven't hit the rolls to drop as divine. That's why you see as some currency lower than divine. So and like what the most base magic finder will tell you, you just have to keep trying, right, until you see it, right. And like many, I would say that some people actually don't have enough capital to keep trying until they get the big hit. So yeah, and maybe later down we'll talk about some alternative strats. Yeah, bias.
I would like to I would like to remind everybody that 90% of MFers give up before getting their divine or explosion.
Like, I mean, yeah, it's nice to meme about them, right? Because just like how people meme about the bosses, right? You can fight Maven. They give up. Maven farmers actually give up before they find their fluff, right? Yeah, it is exactly the same thing. But I think just now I read something on Reddit that someone actually found like 576 Uber Maven and managed to get 9 flasks. So that's just how rates go, lah, right? You wouldn't be earning money from that unless you have that much amount to burn to eventually get it uh even out. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go straight to some of the top picks for the current Magic Find build. I think this one is being popularized by a few streamers. The Fulcrum Chieftain. I think it's a very degen build because they actually just make use of the explosion from the Ascendancy. They use the chance to explode mod, and from there on, they use that one to ignite. And because these chieftains are using Fulcrum, the ignite reflects onto it, themselves. So naturally, this plays like a Righteous Fire character. You actually just run around with the self ignite, and because the ignite scales from the corpse life, so it's a very big ignite that spreads. So um, I, I think it's a good build. But just in the current meta, I think it's very degen way to play the game. Yeah, I'm not hating on the build, but I think currently Fulcrum is going for like 40 divines. So and the problem is Fulcrum is not even a common unique thing being found in the hive, right? You don't exactly find this in like 50 wings. You have to play maybe like 100 wings of the blueprints to eventually maybe see one Fulcrum. So yeah, I think genuine use of the stuff has been diminished. People don't actually use the stuff for things like I remember last time Reap was quite popular for Fulcrum is very popular for Reap, but for now if you pick up a Fulcrum, I think it's better for you to sell the stuff and use the money to fund another build. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it hit 40 divines. When I first searched for it, it was 25 divines. Yeah.
Yeah, so just want to talk about like not just the meta builds and the not just the meta builds and the meta gears. Currently, if you are doing any content that is not map related, uh anything that comes exclusively from things like Delve, Hive is very expensive because everybody's in maps. And anything to add about the current meta, because I think this is a perfect segue for us to go straight into how to earn currency, alternative ways for us to earn currency in this current day and age of the Magic Find. Do you have anything to add?
Like I said, I spec into Hobby. So so I've been running it on my map device. But so far I've only gotten 2 frags to drop. Yeah, the fracturing shard. So it really seems like the drop rate is quite low, even with the juice MF. Or maybe the waves don't affect Hubby itself, because it only affects the monster that the Hubby spawn, not the Hubby itself.
So you are saying that Harbinger, the monsters that are summoned by the Harbinger are not affected by reaps?
The monsters that are summoned by Harbinger are affected, but because it's not a Harbinger will only die when you clear the monsters that he summoned. So I don't think the whiffs will affect Harby himself.
Okay. Yeah, because we were cross checking with PoE Ninja. Apparently, a fracturing op now is about 20 divine. So every shot that you actually drop is a 1/1 div. So I think it's a bit crazy. That the prices of such things are actually going up so much. Yeah. So yeah, guys.
Sure, since we are talking about the alternative ways of making currency other than Gorata's method, I think Ultimatum might be pretty good. I ran it quite a bit since during the first week, yeah, and prices have only gone up since then, like crazy. I remember selling my prismatic catalyst for 14C, and I thought I was rich already. Currently, the prismatic catalyst is, especially if you farm in bulk, you can sell a little bit more expensive, and people will still buy it from you. And prismatic catalyst is now like 31C around there. I remember selling my fertile catalyst for like 8C. This is 24C now. Intrinsic was around 3, I think. And I sold a lot of noxious turbulent imbued accelerating at like 1C. So if you like Ultimatum, I think Ultimatum might be a go. Yeah. I was actually thinking of doing a strat that does Ultimatum and Blight. Yeah. Because they are both very weird mechanics, and Blight you can be cheated. And you wouldn't want to roll very high, very juice maps for them, because they aren't that affected by juice. So yeah.
Okay, so I myself have some ultimatum for the 40/40 challenge. I must say that ultimatum got its own merits. I'll say you definitely need to have a build that trivialize some of the mods. Actually the big earner from the ultimatums are actually the inscribe ultimatums. I believe a lot of the players this league are trying to complete their challenge as well. I was selling each inscribe ultimatum for about 60C to 80C each. So yeah, if you're going for that, I think it's a very big currency generator as well.
I have like 10 or 20 sitting in my stash. PoE stash didn't pick it up.
You really have to see whether the item level is red tier and above, because I think for people who are doing that, they are doing for the challenges in red tier ultimatums.
No, mine's only white and yellow.
Yeah. So especially if you have the 83 level high level inscribe ultimatum with 8 mods, I believe the challenge is currently bugged because I've bought a few and tried to complete them, and when I completed the challenge didn't actually finish. So once that is fixed, I believe you can fetch a higher price for that. Yeah, but yeah, that being said, I think ultimatum is definitely one of the more alternative ways that you can earn money, but not straightforward because you actually have to sell the catalyst in bulk. Yeah. Can we go? So now we'll go into the alternative currency making methods. Can I request buyers to look at the unique relics? So in PoE Ninja, yeah. So I think there is a chance for people to actually get rich by playing Sanctum, because currently the number that we see on the screen now on PoEDB is probably the last transacted, but as of yesterday when I checked the price of the original scripture, which is the relic that you have to run for the original scene, is about 360 divines. So the thing is, you don't even need to run the relic. You just have to find the relic. So I believe, right, you actually can use maybe either the broken sensor or the first crest. One of the relics actually give chance for Lycia to drop more relics. Right. So you can use that to actually farm out the original scripture. Yeah. So that being said, I think this is one of the best way to actually earn a big jackpot. So people who are relatively familiar with Sanctum can actually earn big money once they find the original scripture. You don't really have to run it. You just sell it for people who can confidently run the no hit run. Another method that I want to highlight is especially the heist. Let me see if there is. Does PoE Ninja have the base items? You just go to the bottom. Base types. Yeah. Okay, so the heist base type. So if you actually run enough heist, heist currently for this league they actually rework some of the heist experimental bases. So I have ran a few heists, grand heists to be exact, and I find that the wings these days are really not as cool as the past, because in the past you can actually target some of the wings, some of the grand heists to farm your gems, but in the current day and age most of the wings suck. But what heist brings to you is like what GG has been campaigning. You try until you get a big hit, and if you look at some of the prices of the simplex amulets, this price is for a non-split base. This price is for a split base. So the moment you actually find a simplex, you can split it and sell it for twice the price. So, but I mean, simplex is obviously the most expensive. Even things like the focus amulet or the helical rings, those are going for quite a good price. And to be honest, if you make a dedicated heist character, you can actually run blueprints very, very fast. Yeah. So I believe there's money to be made in heist also, but you just have to tank the wings that are not very exciting, because you may just see the same replica units appearing in multiple rooms in the same grand heist. So you just have to get over the fact of that, and when the big lottery ticket comes in, you really have to take it. And once you take it, you are basically made for the league already. You don't have to earn more currency, because let's just say you find a focus amulet, split it, and you have 300 divines to play with. I think this is definitely one of the Sanctum and Heist is definitely one of the more alternative content that people can actually start to run to actually get enough currency, because these base types or these items are really what the mappers want, and they are not running these contents to get it. So they are just running map full time. They have a lot of divines, but they have nowhere to spend. So this is where I think people can capitalize on getting currency, rather than you also try to farm maps but at a lower efficiency, because you might not have headhunter or better magic find gear.
Yeah, so like the replica Veil of the Night, I saw it 3 times in all 3 wings. That's quite irritating. Yeah, so as for myself, okay, so I've been running MM, so I got like the more than 5,000 alterations and all that nonsense, right? And then, okay, so the thing is, yeah, so Mage Blood is very cheap this league because of Valdo's box. And I've started to roll flasks to sell to Mage Blood people. So yesterday I rolled diamond crit flask with the crit suffix and increase 25% increase effect. And then and I enkindled it to 70% effect as well. I sold the flask for 3 divines. I have also been picking up because I'm running Delirium, so I've been picking up cluster jewels. And then I've also been crafting on those. I think the easiest things to craft are the medium jewels. So you can just because the notables will only come in the prefix. So basically you just alteration for one prefix and then you augment the suffix out and then you can just regurg it and hope for the notable. So you get 2 notables. Right. And then
There's a cheat code there. If you get a suffix, right, you know what you can save. You can actually go and buy the beast minus suffix, add prefix to save your base if you wanted to do that. But I don't know if that will incur more cost to your crafting.
I mean because I have a few hundred regal, so everything is just regal, don't have scour, then transmute alteration. Yep. And then yeah, I found out that like the large clusters are like quite hard to craft. Yes, because for 8 passive you want to craft 3 notables. So basically you have to alteration 1 prefix and 1 suffix first, then you regal for the third notable. But it seems like for 8 passive it's quite difficult to alteration 2 notables. Right? And then but if you are going for the 12 passives, it seems very easy to roll out 2 notables with alteration. Wow, but for 12 passive, you're usually rolling for the increase effect.
I mean, this all is by design because they actually want they design it such that for 8 passive you it's harder to roll 3 notables. For 12 passive you the steps that you want is 35% increase. So there's a barrier at entry because 35% increase can only come from item 84 cluster jewel. So most cluster jewel will drop as 83. 84 really only comes from the magic monsters or the rare monsters that are in your delirium map. And I find that the easiest way to actually get this to actually drop 84 is you must run a T16 map. And mine, I got them mostly from the rare monsters that are in the incursions. So I usually run delirium with alpha because generally if you use a mirror and you didn't choose the keystone where there is the fog forever, you can actually it is very to use incursion is actually like a loot multiplier for your delirium. So that is how I used to play. But I think currently if you do the keystone, you can do this as well. So the monsters inside should be able to drop 84 cluster jewels as well. But that being said, I think it's a good practice for people to accumulate some of the 84 cluster jewels, whether they are 8, 9, 10, 11, then you can do a 5-to-1. You can recycle the jewels. Yeah.
Actually, some Delirium tech that I remembered back when Delirium first came out was that 9 passives is actually the same as 8 passives if you take into account the notables, if I remember correctly.
So back in Delirium, right, you actually have to roll for the jewel sockets as well.
Yeah, but as in, how would I say it? You can skip, like, the amount of passive points required to get all 3 notables in a 9 passive cluster jewel is the same as an 8 passive one, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that is if you go, that means you click all the way from the top. But the problem is that nowadays some people skill points are more of a very scarce resource nowadays. Normally, when people actually min max their build, they actually either go for the like they are notables, right? Whenever they roll for 3 notables, they put the notable in the middle, the things that they don't want. So they only take the 2 side notables for 5 points.
Oh, okay.
So that is the min max part of the 8 passive cluster jewels. If you are talking about the 12 passive, then it doesn't really you don't actually care so much because you are actually taking the whole cluster jewel anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. For medium cluster jewels, 4 or 5 doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are some builds that go for 6, like Flask Duration.
So there are only 2 medium clusters that people actually play 6 on. It's actually the crit chance one and the flask duration one. So the flask duration one is especially important for people who are playing Ward Loop. They actually need a lot of flask effect duration for them to sustain the Ward flask. Right. Then as for the crit chance one, I think people actually did the math. If you roll it with the 35% increase, with damage increase and stats and resist, it's actually more point efficient than whatever passive you can get on the tree. And it's a really niche thing. And we were just looking at the PoE Ninja page. So if you happen to drop a mana reservation jewel item level 84 3 passive, that jewel is currently on the website is 31 divine. Yeah, so I mean you can do what you will with the prices. It's very weird because most of the Magic Find builds I would expect them to actually have one or 2 of these, but yeah, apparently maybe they are just all doing the low tier content, so they cannot drop these kind of items. Yeah. No, I mean some people are doing 7, but some people are doing T16 bureau, right? So and they normally the juices they usually juice it up with Beyond and they Delirium. These 2 are like the max juices, right? They will always pair up with these 2 things. So I would think that they will actually have some resources, but yeah. Oh, and the fact that this cluster jewels is also an extension to another alternative strat, and it's called Simulacrum. So Simulacrum, if your build can reliably always go to about 28 or even 30, the chances of you getting one of these 84 jewels is very high. And the fact that have you seen some of the voices prices? Voices are actually insane. I think voices are in unique jewels, yeah. So voices with 3 passive uh is at 200 divine, which I don't believe, right? Because 3 passive is actually not the best. There is voices at 1 passive. So I think Simulacrum is also a very good way for people to get rich because Simulacrum is a very easy thing to buy. Many people like to buy. Many people sell Simulacrum like there's no price to Simulacrum at all. But if you manage to farm out the 30 waves, actually it is very profitable because nobody likes to run simulacrum. Yeah. So any other alternative strats that you guys have observed or want to try out?
Well, not really, but here's some blighted oils.
Okay, so I myself I am quite done with my trickster already. So I may go back to playing my Penance Brand Inquisitor. And with that, I think I might go into Sanctum farming. Because I believe that once I get the original sin scripture, I'll sell it and just actually buy the ring out because I don't want to have the stress of actually getting the no hit run to get the ring. Yeah. So, and to be honest, once you get the scripture, actually, you don't even have, you don't even need to actually buy the ring. You can actually play any build you want because the scripture is about 360 divine currently. Yeah. So I think that's just a very unique part of this league because, like I say, Mage Blood has been the cheapest that it has ever been. It's less than 200 divine. I think if you rock out one weekend of gameplay in PoE, technically you can get your Mage Blood. With some of the more efficient strategies to earn more money. And I believe Delve there's a lot of money in Delve as well. It's just that I'm not too familiar with the current Delve. People were saying that the best depth to Delve at currently is about 350. So once you delve to 350, if your build can handle monsters at 350, generally you'll just go sideways. Farm out the owl temples, the every Azeroth you get, you go and buy out the 1 sockets and 2 socket resonators. They sell like crazy in bulk because I was trying to buy some to craft. It was a nightmare to buy, and whenever people want to sell you, they generally sell in bulk, and they usually only take in big amounts of chaos or in divine. So yeah, you can expect to earn quite a lot, but definitely there will be a phase where you actually have to convert some of your chaos to divines. And I mean, some people like the currency exchange, some people just don't want to deal with it and they will just buy out some of the cards. Yeah. Okay, so now we just finished our anything more things you all want to add for the alternative strats, because that's what I found out currently. I don't know if there are many other strats that people haven't go into.
Oh yeah, El, you have been running lab for the challengers, right? Then what about the alternative skill gens?
Right. So yeah, I've actually forgotten that buyers actually wanted to know about my lab strats. So for lab, I ran the end game grind for lab, and the way I see is that lab these days you actually have to get ready for lab. Prepare a few of the more meta gems. So like in this case, currently Penance brand has two transfigured versions. So if you are down for a gamble, you can actually always bring in some spare Penance brand gems that you have, bring it into the lab. Whenever there is an option for you to target a gem to make it transfigured, it's a 50-50 for Penance brand. I know some people actually do Frostblink because Frostblink has no other alternative. So any Frostblinks that you bring into to a targeted transfiguration will always become Reventry Blast. And I believe some people like that. Same for Kinetic Blast as well. Kinetic Bolt. Quite a lot of people are playing Kinetic Bolt or Fragmentation right now. So you can also do that as well. Currently, I would say that the lab meta is still the same. You actually go fast. The more labs that you can do, the more you'll get from the return. Penance brand currently, even a level 1 penance brand, no quality is certainly about 1 divine. So the more that you can run, you can always do that. Always prepare a few gems that are leveled or at least have close to 20 quality. So if there is no options for you to get the quality gem EXP, at least you can still use the default one where they actually give you the chance to change the color into another transfigure gem of a same color. So I only ever prepare blue gems for my labs because there is always the chance for it being a penance brand of dissipation.
Well, looking at it now, looks like Storm Rain, Frenzy, Caustic Arrow might be decent. Oh, with the Blink Arrow also as extra.
I've never really looked at the green gems because, to be honest, there is much more things to do with the blue gems. But yeah, I think if you are into the green gems, then you can definitely look at what some of the more meta builds like the Caustic Arrow, some of like what buyers talk about Storm Rain. All these they only have one alternate native gem, so it's easy to get. But the thing is, it's not.
Storm Rain has two. The one that you see on Ninja, the conduit one is max 10 arrows on the ground and they zap to you. There's another one which is off the fence or something. No. The fence one is you can only have 2 arrows on the ground, and the 2 arrows will zap. I think the normal one, it will zap 4 times. Yeah, the 2 will zap 16 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the ROI for green gems. I think worth to try out, but generally I only bring in the blue gems because there's always the chance of a blue gem being made into the more expensive penance brand. Yeah. I will also like to talk about how you can add there is potential abuse for the dedication to the goddess because it it will give you some one of the corrupted gem craft, and I think it's actually one of the best ways for people to get 20 gems of your choice if you run long enough. Like if you want a gem that is generally hard to get, let's say read 21 20 read, you can actually bring in I believe there's a molten shell card that actually rewards you Val molten shell 21 to 20. So by buying that gem itself, you can actually go into the dedication lab, go in and use the craft to potentially change your molten shell into read. Yeah. So that's that. Then I believe there's also a very interesting gem craft for corrupted gems in their dedication lab as well. You can actually use transfigured gem. So transfigured gem to convert it to another transfigured gem of the same color. So what this means is you can actually recycle your skill. So you can just go to trade, buy a 2120 transfigure gem of one color. Let's say you like to play spell. So you buy what is a spell that nobody likes to play? Maybe say cracking lens. Nobody likes to play cracking lens. You happen to buy a cheap one, 2120 transfigure gem. Do you know that with that craft you can actually roll until you hit penance brand 2120? Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of potential there. It's just that for lab fragments currently, it was believed that you actually have to do in maps to keep trying to fish out per map. There is a chance for you to see a enhanced trial to get the crafts, but I've gotten most of my dedication from the end lab chest. So I think this is something new that GG changed to lab. So for people who are farming lab, you can actually also opt to change some of the skill gem into your keys, so that you can open all 10 chests, and one of the chests might just give you dedication or gift for you to farm. Yeah. And is it profitable? Yes, because I think the lab frags are relatively cheap. And if you have a dedicated build to run lab, you can actually run for good lab days, you can actually run the lab within 5 to 7 minutes. And if you bring enough gems, you have enough stock of gems, you can actually keep earning money. Because there is quite a rare craft to convert your support gems into exceptional gems. And if you realize this league, Enlighten is 7 divine, if I'm not wrong. So I think I have encountered like maybe 10 of the exceptional gems. I have about 4 empowers, 1 enlighten, and 5 enhance. So I not so I think it is still quite okay for people to actually farm lab and get money. It's just that now it's the gem meta as compared to the hell meta, which I think is very healthy, because there are so many skills that are cool to play, but every time you want to play, then you realize you don't have a lab enchant on your helm that you want. So I think this is a better way. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta agree. Lab and Chun kind of suck.
So anything you know more about lab? Because to be honest, I think I run enough normal labs, but I haven't run the other 3 kinds of labs that much. Yeah.
Well, not really, but it was quite interesting because I remember lab farming was kind of popular way back when lifting nerd bro was still making videos.
Yeah. I made it my league starter in 3.2 when I think they just revamped Juggernaut, and I happened to jump into the meta. So Juggernaut was meta that league, and everybody was farming lab, and I didn't make any profits that league, to be honest. Then I was quite sad. But to be fair, from then on, then I start to appreciate lab more, because I know that for many people actually just want to do one lab and be done the whole league. But to me, lab is a very chill place that you occasionally earn money. But the current lab, you actually can get consistent money if you know what you are doing.
And honestly, right, lab is way less rippier than 6K Wisp raid maps nowadays.
Lab is only less rippy if you play the normal lab, the normal Uber lab. If you play the other 3, the enhanced lab, those are very scary, because one has the trap deal 3 times the damage, one has the monsters inside deal 3 times the damage, and the other one I believe is Izaro 3 times the damage. So it really depends on whether your build can handle the stronger labs. But if not, I think running normal overlap is just as good. It's really not a problem. Rather, when I was having good lab days, it was very hard to buy fragments. Nobody wants to sell their lab fragments to me. That was the hard part. But if not, I think that's cool. Okay, so I think we can go to the last part. Any new gems that you guys are looking at, or new builds that you all want to play?
Okay, so uh, I was I wanted to try accuracy stacking, and then uh, to tag with new transfigured gem. So I was looking at dual strike of the ambidextrous. So If you can pull it out, I cannot remember the exact stats. Yeah. So okay, so with this dual strike of ambidexterity, you do damage with your main hand, and you use the attack speed of your offhand. So I was thinking of accuracy stacking, and then you use paradoxica on your main hand, and then you use no, not bright break. You use replica last resort on your offhand. So we can so basically paradoxical times 2 your attack because it's the main hand, right? Then replica last resort will boost your accuracy while on low life, boost damage. I'm not sure if that works, but the attack speed works, I guess.
That's in what I think is that dual strike actually wants you to actually have a very fast attacking weapon on your offhand. So replica last resort has the global buff, but the problem is that the base attack speed is 1.6, whereas like what bias is searching on, bright beak is having a 2.1 base attack speed. So this one has a higher base attack speed than your replica last resort.
I see. Because I was thinking of the attack speed with low life, accuracy with low life. Yep.
No, I mean traditional claw replica last resort accuracy stacking is using 2 claws, alright. So now you only change one out. So you take out the damage boost from one claw and change it to a paradoxical that deals double damage, and also plus the gem itself has 70% more the damage with the main hand. I think that's a very cool way to play. But the way I see is that dual strike. Okay, so first thing is still a strike skill. So it's not friendly to play.
I mean, I look back at Matthew's video.
Didn't he just play one new one?
No, he played
Dual strike.
double strike.
Oh, double strike.
Yeah. So I mean, with the, I think it's attack mastery. So strike skill can splash. So it's not that bad for mapping.
I see. I think there is definitely some ways to play this. And the good thing is that it doesn't restrict the weapon type. So I think you can go off with this train of thought. But the offhand it's probably better with a bright break. Yeah. So you can really strike so fast that you probably have mana issues. Yeah. This can be a thing. So any other things that you're looking at gems wise?
Yeah, so I saw Ziggy playing Viper Strike of the Mamba. It looks cool. I probably won't play it. Probably inspired by Big L, I might look into a lap runner just so I can run laps. I have no idea what skill it will be.
Okay, so generally for lab, if you want to, because I'm running lab on my Penance Brand Inquisitor, and to be honest, it's just carried by the Flask and Mage Blood. If you want to run a dedicated lab farmer, I would already tell you some gears that are compulsory. So you go with the Votos, Queen of the Forest. So you probably, the only damage that you can actually deal with is like probably you either Poet's Pen DD or some form of toxic rain, caustic arrow shenanigans. So I feel like that's the few ways that you can play lab efficiently and also deal enough damage for Izaro to not be a threat. Yeah. Okay. Then I myself, I want to convert my Trickster from Ball Lightning into actually a Cold Snap of Power, because I just realized how broken that skill is. Cold Snap of Power, actually, what it does is different from the regular Cold Snap. It consumes a power charge to bypass the cooldown, right? So for the first cast, you don't actually have to use any power charge. So the moment, and if you look at with the quality, this gem itself has 50% chance to gain a power charge on critical strike. So the moment you pair it up with a power charge on crit support gem, you actually have 100% chance to get power charge on crit. And if you take a look, this is a very weird gem because it's the first gem that I see that has 10% base crit. For 10% base crit, the concept is you just have to have 1000% increase. 1000% increase for spell is very easy to come by. Yeah, to hit the 100% cap, always crit. So to me, Cold Snap of Power is actually a very broken build that I think anyone can play. And it's a very, this might also eventually become my next leg start, to be honest, because I hope they don't add any Transfigure Gem to Cold Snap. Because currently I foresee a way for me to play Cold Snap of Power early into the league with almost any ascendancy that I want.
Well, you're kind of giving up on Relicash Impatience though. But it depends if Relicash Impatience is gonna get nerfed next league.
Okay, so because they reworked Relicash from what it was, it used to give you charges, but now it just treats you as maximum charges, which I think GG is happy with where it is right now. Because to be honest, Relicash is actually a very rare boots. When I was buying them, they were at 5 diff, and the whole server only had like maybe, I would want to say 50 pairs of Relicash going around. So compared to what it is currently at 35C, Relicash is alright. Yeah, actually the more core item for the Cold Snap of Power is actually Badge of the Brotherhood, cause you want to double dip into the frenzy. Yeah. So but that being said, currently what I just want to do is just to try out this gem just to see how broken it can be. But for the next league start, maybe we'll have some other discussion, maybe down the one or the next one or the next two podcasts. Maybe we'll talk about that when maybe we are done with the league. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, we'll end it here right now. And then thanks for listening. Happy New Year. See you guys in 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah. See you guys in 2 weeks, and Happy New Year to everyone who is listening till now. We appreciate the support, and if you like our podcast, please you can leave a comment. I guess you can leave a comment and tell us what you'd like to hear, or maybe some improvement that we can do to this podcast.
Happy New Year!